I would say people who speaks French, who studies French. How many Mongolians go to France now on this culture side?
On the culture side, I think we have something about 80 Mongolian students in France now. Some may be on a scholarship, some for private reasons, but 80 altogether. But we don't know exactly. Now there is, I would say, a free traveling between Mongolia and France.
On the economic side,
yes,
I think this is rather. How do you evaluate the current situation of economic cooperation between two countries?
There are very strong opportunities for both countries. Of course, Mongolia is, I would say, far away from France, but Mongolia offers opportunities. Everybody, of course, would mention the uranium, but that's not the only one. There are also for example, France maybe must be now the first European buyer of processed cashmere from Mongolia. There are opportunities, for example, in cooperation in equipment, in sanitation, in water. The French company is now in Erdenet extending the sanitation. We have just opened here in Ulaanbaatar air pollution control stations provided by France, but there are many opportunities. Also, of course, in food and agriculture.
You said about processed cashmere buying to France.
Mm-hmm.
What is made out of it and how does it proceed? Who is processing it?
Well, yeah, your companies. Gobi, Goyo.
Do you have goat in France?
Yes, we have.
Do you process cashmere from those goats?
No, because it's not cold enough.
Not cold enough. So, France is in Italy as well. Italy
buys raw cashmere.
Okay, but nevertheless, both you guys have not goats for cashmere, but you have a wonderful products with out of cashmere. And those wonderful cashmere is coming in this or that way from Mongolia. Do you agree?
Yes.
Okay. So we are part of making your brand names famous too.
I'm sure.
Okay. You talked about uranium, and there is a lot of opportunity. Why uranium with France when they have other big countries who have also technology? Why do you think?
It depends that France has a very strong experience. And France has a company which is I would say the mastership of the nuclear activities, from uranium extraction to the production of electricity, of power. No other company has the same spectrum of activities.
Of value chain.
This company is a world leader, and we have in France also our power company, EDF, which also has a very strong experience. You know that in France, more than 80% of the power produced, electric power produced in France, is produced with nuclear power.
80% of France
yes.
By nuclear power stations.
More than 80.
But yet we say nuclear power station is very dangerous. We remember the example in Chernobyl. Yeah,
but Chernobyl was not in France. With Chernobyl, there were other reasons for this accident. It was a very, of course, concerning accident because it, of course, it touched not only the area of Chernobyl but also a big part of Europe. But in France we have a good experience of safety. That doesn't mean that we are not aware, but maybe Chernobyl was also a good lesson for others. But it's also a question of consensus.
What happened last week when Germans were blocking a railroad, a train coming from France to Germany? What was that?
I told you that this French company, we have, and has all the spectrum activities,
Yes.
has also within its activities the recycling of waste,
Nuclear
waste. So it's only two companies in the world do it, the French and a British one. So the waste from all over the world comes to France to be recycled, including from Germany.
All nuclear waste must be recycled, process it again so that it is not dangerous for people. Right?
It has to be recycled. It has to be
And then why
recycled.
the Germans are refusing to have back their own waste?
They have their own policy. The former government of Germany decided to get out of the nuclear cycle, they said.
Where it is supposed to go. It should go to somebody's country.
So, but this waste has been in France for a long time, because the recycling takes a very long time. And it happens that movements in Germany were opposed to the returning of this waste, which is their own. It's not ours.
What will happen with us after if we have a nuclear power in Mongolia?
You have to recycle it.
That waste to be recycled in France.
Or in somewhere else.
In England.
Or in England.
So it's quite...
I think Japan also now.
I think it's a small, relatively size waste, but dangerous.
But it's not a question only of danger, it's a question also of recuperation of some... a waste, we call it a waste. I'm not a specialist, but I would say there are many materials in this waste, and some can be used again to produce electricity.
Okay. So we hope that there will be more cooperation in the economic field with France in particular in terms of nuclear energy.
There will be. Our Minister of Trade was here a few weeks ago.
Yes.
She signed an agreement, intergovernmental agreement of cooperation in the nuclear sector, the peaceful use of nuclear energy.
Nuclear energy.
So this is an agreement that I would say very important, which is, I would say, goes further than extraction of uranium.
Areva is a state-owned French company.
It is, yes.
Government, 100%
It has, no, not 100%. They are also private. Siemens has been a stakeholder.
A partner.
Private, yeah.
That's a good example of PPP, private-public partnership.
Let's say it started state-owned, and then
state-owned, then sold certain percent for the
It's more complicated than that.
Areva also makes some exploration of uranium in Mongolia, and they have certain field where they have a particular right of exploration, later on probably process and production. Where is that?
They have licenses in Dornogovi and in Surpatar.
Okay, what's going on with uranium in a former uranium ore place, Matad, Mardai? It has nothing to do with that.
Nothing to do with that.
Okay, so this is a new source of uranium energy.
This
Good.
is it.
Let me talk about another field, which is legal, constitutional. We have learned and we have studied a lot France Constitution. And I understand we reflected certain experiences in our constitution. Would you comment on that?
I wouldn't say that the French constitution is the one which has been the most, would say, chosen to inspire Mongolian legislators.
Why?
I don't know. I think because the French system is more presidential, less parliamentary, I would say. We still believe in a useful government, useful state. The state is useful, no. In a strong government, strong state, central state. This is why the others call us. We are called Jacobins.
French government is different. Yeah. Okay. Our president El-Baghdadi recently proposed cancellation of a death penalty, first time in our history, which raises certain debate in the country. And you are one of the countries who abolished it. What do you think about that? About Mongolian proposal?
It's first of all, I must tell you that we, the French, support the initiative by the President El-Baghdadi, because we had been through this experience 30 years ago. I would say in the same background.